Good evening. It's Saturday, March 15th, 2025, and we're in Studio 6A today. And it's my pleasure and honor to speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, World War II hero from Niagara Falls, New York.
Oh, Jesus, don't say Niagara Falls.
How are you doing today, Mr. Jeckovich?
Just say from New York State.
Oh, excuse me, I'll edit. We're with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, World War II hero from New York State.
Good.
Yeah, how are you doing today, Mr.?
Very good, very good.
You're
very
looking
good.
I see you got a haircut. It looks very
I got false into that haircut. I got false into it. They picked me up and hauled me into that stupid barber shop.
Well, you got to get a haircut. The hair was you were looking like a hippie.
Huh?
You got to get a haircut. It looks very nice.
I didn't need a haircut.
Oh, yeah, it was getting too long.
That woman that Chelsea did with the scissors cut around the ear and cut around the ear.
Well, you're keeping the economy going. Let's put it that way.
Huh?
You're keeping the economy going. Let's put it that way.
Right, come on.
Yeah, you're looking wonderful with your new haircut. In fact, you look 15 years younger. You look 15 years younger with your new haircut. Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925, and this year in 2025, Mr. Jeckovich will be 100 years old. Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100. Hear it knocking?
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100 years old. A classic example of good health and living an honest and moral life. What do you attribute your longevity to?
Genes.
Genes. What else?
Clean living.
What type of exercises did you do?
Running. I ran every day.
Mr. Jeckovich ran for 80 years. 80 long years, yeah. Mr. Jeckovich never took a prescription or a vitamin, never smoked. Everyone, during World War II, the Red Cross was passing out non-filter cigarettes like candy bars. Did you ever take up smoking there?
No.
Mr. Jeckovich didn't drink. But it's ironic, during World War I, there were 16,400,000 young men and women that participated in World War II. And now we're down to about 6,000 combat veterans left. There's maybe 70,000 other rear echelon, but we're down to less than 6,000 combat veterans. And we're just discussing how World War II, they advertised so heavily for cigarettes. What kind of brands do they advertise? The military.
Lucky Strike.
Yeah.
Chesterfield.
Old Gold.
Old Gold, yeah.
Pall Mall.
Pall Mall, yeah.
And these are all non-filter cigarettes. So the Red Cross would pass out these packs of cigarettes to the young soldiers like candy bars. Out of boredom, like a large percentage of them, 90% start smoking. And even when the war was over, the young soldiers had to go in these camps to have a certain amount of points to be released to go back home. And what were the camps named after?
Lucky Strike, Philip Morris, Chesterfield.
Yeah. So cigarettes, tobacco companies have a big in during the war. So if the war didn't kill you during World War II, 20 or 30 years later, the habit you picked up there, lung cancer, did, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And how are the cigarette companies? They're cigarette companies are very clever and devious and selfish ways. How are they attracting the young kids today?
They put a pack of cigarettes on the counter that they can take. They figure they're going to steal it. They'll use it, and then they're cooked.
Is that right? Most of the convenience stores used to, not long ago, 20, 30,000 7-Elevens, they would, tobacco companies would have put a display of cigarettes right at the front of the cash registers. Would have made it simple, really simple to steal a pack. And the tobacco companies' thoughts were, if these kids, 12, 13, and 14, steal a pack today, It'll be a carton sold tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
It'll be a carton sold tomorrow. So we have less than 6,000 combat veterans left, and we're losing them at a rate of 150 a day. So any text messages you might have for Mr. John J. Jeckovich, please text us at 407-366-0000. If you want to know about the war or lessons about life, Mr. Jeckovich's mind is like a library. He's been through it all. He's had several businesses. He worked for Kimberly-Clark for 35 years. And so he has a lot of good information. So any questions you might have that Mr. Jeckovich could make your life a little easier, text him at 407-366-0000. By the way, Mr. Jeckovich wrote this mega-sized book. How many pages?
849.
849. And this book is titled Their Mother's Sons, and it takes you from the time Mr. Jeckovich was 11 years old when his father died, working as a slave with 3 different jobs, trying to give his family of kids a better life, at the age of 43. Since that point, Mr. Jeckovich made many sacrifices and took care of his mother solely until his mother left this earth when she was 89 years old. So there's a lot of good information in the book, and it's a wonderful book. And then if you Google the Bulge Busters, John Jeckovich, you can see we started reading it over a year ago, and we covered the entire book by this time. Now we're starting all over again on chapter 3. And really great book, and the sole purpose of this book is to educate youngsters about World War II, what was this all about, and you'll find out why these guys are nicknamed the greatest generation, and also things that do make life easier. So this is not about money. How much money have you made from your book?
Nothing. I'm not selling it. Not selling
Never
it.
for sale, never will be for sale. There's one copy that's in the World War II Museum in New Orleans, but the book will never be sold and never has been sold. So it's just a labor of love to share with other people on making your life a little bit easier, and and giving the hard facts about World War II, not the stuff you see on TV. That's not right.
Yeah.
Those movies you see on TV is not World War II.
Yeah.
It's not. So here's the real deal. A man is a teenager, front line. This man has been shot up by snipers, beat up during the war, stabbed, bombed, still has shrapnel.
Lost a hip.
Yeah, still has shrapnel in his leg, lost a hip, trench foot, and frostbite. When's the last time you suffered from frostbite?
Last night.
Last night. Still suffering from frostbite. 80 years ago, he was fighting in the Battle of the Bulge, Ardennes Forest. Is the coldest winter of record. The coldest winter record. The wind chill was 30, 40 below. And no one thought that Hitler would pull off this ridiculous trick of going through the Ardennes Forest, because if you can picture the Ardennes Forest, it's so many trees, it's so hard to get a tank through. It's almost difficult to get people through. But Hitler pulled it off. He sent 600,000 troops there with 6,000 Panzer tanks. It was the last-ditch effort of Hitler to kill more Americans and destroy the rest of the country. So that was named the Battle of the Bulge. As a result, the videos you're seeing on YouTube are named the Bulge Busters. The Bulge Busters. When Mr. Jeckovich was caught off guard with 1,000 other soldiers in Bastogne, they held it tight because they knew if Hitler were to get into Bastogne, the outcome of the war wouldn't have been in our favor. 97% casualties. Mr. Jeckovich survived, probably due to just simply through the rosaries prayed by his mother and Renee, a former nun. It kept him alive. He made it, and he's still here today, 100 years old. But interesting fact, when Mr. Jeckovich went in, they're all kids, 16, 17, 18, 19. They were nicknamed, their division was nicknamed the Diaper Division. And why was that?
They were young kids, 19 years old.
all young kids, but after they held Bastogne tight until the weather broke, so replacements could come and the fighter planes of the U.S. Army and Air Force could come down and start evening up the score. That took 3 days, and there was 97% casualties. And now the teenage boys who survived are no longer called the Diaper Division. Their new name given to them by the military were the Bloody Bastards of Bastogne. Without them, we would have had a horrible outcome of the war. And then shortly after the Battle of Bulge, Hitler committed suicide, and then the tide has turned. But there was also the Pacific going on, and were you and many soldiers worried about going to the Pacific?
Yeah, I didn't want to go there.
No. And so the war was still carrying on in the Pacific, and ironically, some of the Japanese were so brainwashed, they thought the war was on and they were still fighting in the jungles until 1975.
Yeah, they're hiding in the trees.
Yeah, 30 years after there. It's just a fact the way it was. But there was one unique soldier that when that war ended in Germany, the European theater, he couldn't wait to get to the Pacific.
Patton.
General George Patton. He couldn't wait to get to the Pacific theater because there was no more action in the European theater. But unfortunately, it didn't work that way. He got hit by an automobile, non-military related, and he passed away in his late 50s. Actually, war takes a toll on you. He was in his late 50s when he died, and he looked like he was like 80 years old. Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich had running with Patton, face to face. Tell us how that went.
Right.
When you met Patton in the barn, how did that go?
Well, he called us. I told Post hide the Jeep in the trailer so nobody sees it. Well, Patton picked up the Jeep and then looked around, looked at the barn, and thought I was sleeping.
And then what did he say?
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, it's pouring rain outside. He said, get your ass up, go out to the next checkpoint. Now, go.
That was the last time you seen him?
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable. Wow. So if you have any questions, real questions about World War II, ask, text 407-366-0000. Mr. Jeckovich looks forward to all your texts about any subjects from A to Z. Any subjects from A to Z. So, and Mr. Jeckovich actually enjoys answering the text. So we have a ton of text still on the back burners we have to answer, but we go through them every night. We get 15 or 20 texts every night, maybe more. And if you want to talk to Mr. Jeckovich, you can text and he'll call you. He'll be glad to talk about any subject between A to Z. A to Z. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Yes, it is. Today is a gift.
16.
Huh?
16.
Today is a gift, boys and girls. It's a short dance around the sun. It's a short dance around the sun. So enjoy every day. Like Mr. Jeckovich just revealed in his last reading last month that at 20 years old he blinked his eyes and he's 100, right?
Yeah, I'm 100, yeah.
Goes by quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just like
Slips out, yeah.
Goes by quickly.
Yeah.
And keep in mind how things have changed. When Mr. Jeckovich was a boy, born in 1925, gasoline was 7 cents a gallon. Beautiful houses were $2,000. Brand new cars, $500. The husband worked and the wife took care of the household. A beautiful combination. Husband worked and the wife took care of the household. In fact, Mr. Jeckovich went through the Great Depression. What do you remember of the Great Depression?
I don't think we were stressed or nothing. We had good food. We had for Easter. They got all new clothes. Living in a warm place.
Didn't you? You got through it fine.
Oh yeah.
When Mr. Jeckovich was growing up, it's not as our modern things today. There was no phone. There was no TV. Horses would deliver the milk. Horses would deliver the ice.
Yeah.
That's where you get the word ice box from. They'd put in a box in your kitchen, a block of ice, and your food would last a couple days. And there was no such thing as restaurants. They didn't exist. They didn't exist. And so, actually, back then there was no phones, but after World War II, some phones came in. And what were those phones called? You would hear people at the other...
Rotary phones.
What?
Dial phones.
But party lines.
Party lines.
Explain to us what a party line is. Who would you hear on the party line?
Who did I have?
No, who'd you hear on the party line when you picked it up?
I heard somebody talking.
Uh-huh. And then you couldn't dial then, right?
No, no, they had the circuit closed up.
And so when you dialed, did everyone listen to you?
Oh yeah.
So when phones came out after the World War II, they got one little gadget, one little big ass phone on the wall with a cord about 1.5 feet, rotary dial. But actually, if you think about it, those phones gave you more freedom than you have today. If you weren't home, you didn't get a call.
Yeah.
If you weren't home, you didn't get a call. And 90% of the time, you weren't home. Now today, everyone has in their purse or their back pocket a cell phone. So you're on the beckoning call of everybody. Strangers, friends, everyone's texting you. Yeah. So you had more freedom back when Mr. Jeckovich was a boy than you do today with these phones. These cell phones and laptops and all these type of computer devices are supposed to give you conveniences, but they don't. They steal your life. They steal the quality of your life. They still steal the quality of your life. Mr. Jeckovich, when you wrote this monster book of 849 pages, did you use Google to get your...
No, nothing.
Hell no, he didn't. Hell no, he didn't. It's right in his head. Right in his head. But everyone today's Googling. And the saddest example is when you see kids 2, 3, and 4 years old, and the permanent babysitter or his mommy gives him a cell phone. He's playing games. Playing games. You ever see these kids playing games all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. Not good. Or if you go to a restaurant nowadays, which is 10 restaurants in every corner, no wonder why everyone in America is fucking fat. 10 restaurants in every corner. You'll see kids of all ages sitting at the dining room table, and they all have phones next to them, or they're playing with them, or they're talking to their friends. Aren't they supposed to be going to dinner with their family? Now their family becomes third-class citizens. And the shame of it is, and this is a fact, when the parents admit this is a fact, their lives will change. But their parents are afraid of those little kids that take away their phone. They're afraid of their own children. It's a fact.
Yeah.
They won't take that phone away from those little kids. Yeah. What is we?
They stick it in their pocket now.
Yeah, but what have we become? Letting a little kid dictate a parent's life. How sad. And little they know, those parents are ruining those kids. They're ruining them. They're ruining those kids. It's an absolute shame. If they cared for the kids, they'd take the phone away, give a kid a phone at, say, 16, 17, on a limited basis. On a limited basis.
Or they punish him.
Yeah, on a limited basis. So Mr. Jeckovich had more freedom and more luxuries of living than any of you people do today. I have to tell you that. I really do. And by the way, if you're knocking on the door of 40 right now, you have about 10% chance to make it to 100.
Oh, yeah.
You have a 10% chance. It's tough to make it to 100. This guy here, he reads 3 newspapers every morning, including the Wall Street Journal, with no glasses. With no glasses. If you're 40 or older, everyone needs glasses. Not this guy. We nicknamed him the Super Soldier. We nicknamed him Super Soldier. He just keeps on going. And also, he's got such a hard grip, a strong grip. If you'd shake your hand, he'd knock it to the ground. Sometimes in the studio, we make jokes. If the atom bomb hit this country, there'd be only two things left. One would be Cher, and the second one would be John Jeckovich. Those would be the only two survivors of the atom bomb. Everyone else would be fucking gone. Right? You and Cher would be it. Cher, I think Cher's going to do this to 120 years old. Every time you turn around, you see Cher. Holy shit. Time to run. But, so, and they didn't have these type of TVs. When Mr. Jeckovich finally got a TV after World War II, a lot of things changed after World War II. Finally got a TV. It's a big monster TV with about, I don't know, 14-inch screen.
Black and white.
Black and white. Everyone would sit on the couch. And what time did TV end?
10 o'clock to shut it down.
It's 10 o'clock to shut it down. So from 10 p.m. to 7 or 8 p.m., no channels. Zero. You just hear a circle with it buzzing or humming. And then the family would sit on the couch and look at this big monster TV, which was probably 400 pounds, with a tiny screen, black and white. And you had to get up. There's no such thing as a remote. You get up and turn it by hand, 3 channels. But as you used it so much, the plastic broke off, and everyone had a pair of pliers to the left and a pair of pliers to the right. So you go up with a pair of pliers and you turn your channels, right?
Yeah.
Because all those plastic knobs broke off. So it was a much simpler life back then, and probably a better life. You know, we have all these things today that are supposed to make our life convenient, but they're not convenient. And always remember, the more you own, the more it owns you. It's a fact. The more you own, the more it owns you. So, we're on chapter 3, and this is titled, You're in the Army, on page 29. How about if we just read a couple pages, because I have a lot of text messages.
Okay.
Now, in order to open up the book, the laptop, I need your dog tag number.
42965.
You're gonna have sharp as a fucking tack. Here we go. We were allowed 30 minutes to complete our meal after we marched back to our barracks. This is when Mr. Jeckovich is the first day of being drafted. At this time, we were instructed that lights out was at 2200 hours at Reveille and 4:30 hours. We were also advised to get plenty of rest because we had a full day tomorrow. That would be the second day as being drafted. Lying in my bunk for a few minutes after lights out, I thought over the previous events. The first day had been hectic, and I did not have a chance to think about home, or even how Mother and my sister were making out. Everything was new to me, I imagine, for everyone else and for everyone else here. For a moment I thought about what I'd be doing back home at this time. You would probably be reading, listening to the radio, or just relaxing before bed. Minutes, please? I wonder if they had to run into any problems. I wonder if my family had to run into any problems.
6.
Huh?
6.
At home, as it turned colder during the night. The barracks were warm and cozy, so the barracks were warm.
Yeah.
Luckily, since we sleep in our underwear, the extra OD, what's OD?
All the dab.
The extra OD blanket was not needed. As I thought about home and listened to the snoring from several bunks away, I fell into a sound sleep. It was as though it was only a few minutes from the time I fell asleep until the time I was awakened by the shrill whistle blasting up and down the aisles of the barracks. So that was a lot of racket.
Yeah, CQ was waking everybody up.
All the lights were turned on instantly as I looked up out the window. I could see nothing but utter darkness. It was 4:30 a.m. and I had witnessed my first reveille in the Army. What would they do with you if you didn't get out of bed?
What do they do?
Yeah, if you said, I want to sleep.
Yeah, you couldn't go back to sleep.
No, if you told the drill sergeant you wanted to sleep, you know, like kids today, they say, go away, I want to sleep.
Oh, yeah,
What
yeah.
would they do to you?
They sleep.
No, but the drill sergeant let you sleep?
No, no.
No, you throw you out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You got up, that was it.
Yeah, that's right. Got up, that was it. After getting dressed quickly, the GI clothes were still awkward to put on as well as wear. We were ushered out in the front of the barracks into some kind of formation. As our names were called, we immediately answered, and we were checked off the clipboard by our company sergeant. The next several days were completely occupied from reveille at 4:30 a.m. to retreat at 1700 hours. There were lectures, movies, physical shots, and constant testing. Somewhere in the chaotic schedule, we managed a trip to the post barber shop for a GI haircut. What's a GI haircut?
Cut, make it bald.
Okay. This was also, with our newly acquired clothes, completely out of transformation from our civilian to soldier. As kind of a testing made me any kind of testing made me apprehensive, especially the average method. We were giving the usual reading and mathematics tests, but the test that I was entirely unfamiliar with had to do with optical illusions, ink blots, multiple choice type questions relating to all sorts of different situations. And what I've referred to was what if questions. Generally we must have taken 15 to 20 hours of very mental and manual dexterity tests. We were finally told at the end of the 5th day during orientation lecture that we had completed our screening and that we'd be notified shortly of our assignments. Well, that's interesting. Do you feel like up to answering any questions?
Yeah.
Remember, they're from all walks of life, so if you don't interested in, just say no. Minutes, please.
Just under 3.
Huh?
Just under 3.
Mr. Jeckovich, do you consider yourself a nature lover?
Nature over, up to a point, yeah.
Good point. What is your favorite fruit?
Food.
What is your favorite fruit?
Fruit.
Fruit, F-R-U-I-T, fruit.
Orange.
Orange? I see. How many times, seeing you had a lot of girlfriends during World War II and elsewhere, how many times have you had your heart broken?
Am I heartbroken?
Yeah.
Not too many.
Not too many.
And I didn't have sex with him either. No.
This is a family show. He was a player during the war, I can tell you that.
Huh?
He was a player.
We're going to be getting into those chapters pretty soon.
Yeah.
Alice? Remember I got Alice? Yeah.
2 minutes.
Mr. Jeckovich, do you like telling jokes?
I like telling
Jokes.
I can't tell jokes, no.
Do you like hearing jokes?
Hearing jokes?
No, just jokes.
Do you like to hear them?
You have
Do you
people
like-
telling you jokes. Someone's asking, do you like to hear jokes?
No, not really.
Not really, okay. That's kind of what I thought. What was your favorite breed of dog? I know you didn't have one, but what was your favorite breed of dog?
St. Bernard.
St. Bernard, yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't like dogs. I wouldn't have a dog in the house. Dog barks out in the field, out in the
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah.
Same thing with a cat.
Who was your best teacher? Do you remember their name?
Best teacher?
Do you remember their name?
Figler, science teacher.
Figler. Didn't you work with him later in life?
Yeah, on summertime I was off, he would be real right at Kimberly Clark.
Oh, yeah. It's funny how that all around a big circle.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich, here's a question. It's kind of odd, but they asked it. This comes from Tulsa. If you saw someone drop a $10 bill, Mr. Jeckovich, would you keep it or return it?
No, I leave it there.
Leave it there. I like that.
He used to do that all the time, drop the big $10 bill on the street.
Yeah. So you just leave it there, right? Mr. Jeckovich, are you an introvert or extrovert?
And in between.
In between.
30 seconds.
I see. How many pairs of shoes do you own? We see you with a different pair every night.
I would be wearing these shoes. I got 5 pairs of shoes in the closet. I use these all the time.
Because they're always asking, how many shoes does Mr. Jeckovich has? He always has a lot of different shoes on.
10 seconds.
No, I got these shoes on for 2 or 3 years now.
Are they comfortable?
Oh, yeah,
That's all that counts.
yeah.
That's all that